build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die.
Hi folks, thanks for joining us tonight. I just seen if Colin or John are going to jump on. We're having one of these sort of Friday nights where everybody's got plans there, even though folk are doing the best to cancel plans sort of across the country. It always just sort of ends up that we've not got didn't quite get ahead with the plans that we were going to do. So we were going to have a preview show tonight to talk about Hibs and Dundee United, but obviously that's been well and truly patched. So rather than preview a game that's not going to happen, what I thought we would do is just invite folk on for general Hibs chat, but also to do some sort of on the cuff Shortbangers questions. So if you're not familiar with Shortbangers, what we normally do is we go to folk and say send us in questions. Folks send in questions. It's things like would you rather have a dog that had a human body and a dog's head, or a human's head and a dog's body? And then why? Or would you rather have a massive hand or a massive foot? Or what's the best planet? Or that kind of fucking jazz. So if you've ever listened to it and want to get involved, you can get involved tonight. We'll get as many folks speaking as we possibly can. The idea is to have a bit of fun Friday night, as much as anything. So we're not restricted to Hibs stuff. And maybe give a wee taste of what the live show might be like. Well, live show will be better because we've got a bit of time to plan it, right? And this is obviously all off the cuff, but that kind of idea. So again, looking for as many folks to get involved as possible. There's a wee request to speak button just down in the bottom left. If you hit that, I'll invite you on, and then you can just stay available as a speaker for the duration of the show. Unless I think we run out of spaces eventually, so we might have to swap it around a wee bit. But I'll do my best to involve as many people as I possibly can. So the new Shortbangers just launched. If you're not a subscriber, because if you're a subscriber, you would have had it late last night. It only went out at 7 o'clock tonight for everybody who's not a subscriber. So you can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on your podcast players as well. It'll be in there just now. So if you don't have a chance to listen, it's half an hour. It's a good bit of crack. If you want to submit questions, if you don't want to speak, you can just tweet us as a wee message, but at the bottom. So Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. Just put, in response to the dead animal, throw in a record, you could launch a medium-sized turtle like a frisbee. By the way, that's a fucking great shout. Hadn't thought about frisbee. Alex, Fats Pickus, Twitter celebrity, and occasional shortbanger, longbanger. Oh, hold on, I'm not sure if anybody can hear me. I've lost my connection. Can you hear me all right? You got a wee message saying I lost my connection there. Can you hear me? Alex, can you hear me? You come off mute. Cheers, Rab. I'm not sure if I've lost Alex, so but there it is. Hi, Alex.
Hi, mate. How's it going? You hear me?
You there, Alex?
I think so. Oh, fuck knows.
Oh, I can't hear you. This is going well, eh? Leon, how you doing? Hi. Thanks for coming. Obviously, sure if I got a wee message saying connection was lost.
You hear me?
Like the wonders of doing these things live and technology and all the rest of it.
That's what I came on for, just to make sure, just to say I can hear you.
Right,
I can hear you.
Well, Rab said he can hear Alex, but I can't hear Alex, but I can hear you fine. Alex, you say something.
Aye, hiya.
I can't hear that. Leon,
I can hear him, Mike.
Oh wait, I'll come off and go back on.
Mike, can I not hear you, Alex? I'm just going to imagine what you've answered as well. Leon, if you were throwing an animal, what animal would you throw?
For a frisbee?
Well, it doesn't have to be a frisbee. It could be whatever sort of technique you want.
It's to get the longest, the furthest away.
Aye, which animal do you think you could throw?
Maybe a hamster or something, eh? Get them travelling, eh? Come on, I mean, my mate's hamster bit me once and it was still stuck to my finger. And I pulled my hand out the fucking cage that quick. It fucking hit the ceiling and fell back in. And it was pretty rapid, like. So I'd say
What was it called?
I can't mind. It was a wee bastard. It was some fucking Russia. It was like they're all Russian, obviously, but he's going to be in some Russian fucking miniature hamster or something. It was like a really wee one. And I used to put my hand in trying to clap all the time, but just agitating the fucking life out of it. Yeah, and then I moaned at his mum for his hamster biting me.
Okay. Did you have to take it to the vet and get it put down for being vicious?
Oh no, I done it myself. Just stamped on it.
Do you think can Russian mini hamsters still fit loads of food in their cheeks?
I think so. I used to fucking love the vodka though.
That isn't it.
He's just to fucking keep the ties in his cheeks until they fermented in the vodka.
Sitting with his wee hat on.
Aye.
Aye. What were you, Alex, if you were throwing an animal?
If I had to throw an animal,
Aye. A deep one. Obviously, this was the stipulation, wasn't it? It was like already deep. We're not killing any animals.
No. So I heard Colin. He stipulated that it would be a dead cat. I automatically think, Ken, how everybody goes stiff when they die. I thought you could just get a snake, because if they go stiff, they're like a big fucking spear. You could chuck that. A javelin.
By the way.
So that was my thought. Or you could. I think that's the best way. Like javelin or a snake, a big snake,
an anaconda or something.
Anaconda.
Couldn't even pick that up though. They're fucking massive. It'd be like a fucking what is it called? What's the thing when they jump through? Use a big stick to jump through the thing. The pole vault. Be like a big pole vault,
Aye.
And it'd be in one piece as well, which is one of the stipulations for a pole.
Could you win the competition by using the snake as a pole vault and chuck yourself further? Like a double point.
A dead snake with rigor mortis would make a good draft excluder as well,
Aye. A few ideas for draft excluders the last couple of days, to be fair.
That's something I often think about.
I'll keep them in myself.
Or a really big worm.
Sean Nicholas is throwing a bird count. That was my idea, Sean, last night as well. I said I would chuck a homing pigeon. I just travel fucking miles away and throw that, and then obviously you're laughing at it. But ruled birds out unless they were already dead, and then I think Colin suggested sort of using sticks to make their wings open and using like a paper aeroplane. I don't care if that's cheap. We don't need to sort of invent rules for this. We've done it with the biscuit toss, and we never really kind of settled on set rules for that. And if we're going to start throwing animals as well, which obviously we'll have to wait till Attenborough's deed, because if he's still alive, what's the other one? The Really Wild Show, whatever, Chris Packham, he's like into the animal rights as well, so we'd probably need to wait for both of them to be out of the picture before we could do it.
See if the animal's dead. What do you think's the most dangerous animal you could throw? Like, it has to be like a hedgehog or something like. I mean, a lion's more dangerous than a hedgehog, but if it's dead, more damage. Like stick in your cheek or something.
A grizzly frog.
A frog, aye.
Touchy bastards, can't you?
A grizzly bear on a piano. Anyway, right, that's a good start, isn't it? We've also got another question here, right? So, Leon and Alex, here, what your thoughts on this? Would you rather have Martin Boyle with David Marshall's arms or David Marshall with Martin Boyle's legs?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know.
Well, I'd imagine that, like, David Marshall's probably got more muscular arms.
Definitely.
Aye. So what was the options?
You want David Marshall's arms or Martin Boyle's legs, eh?
Combination.
There's no good Marshall being quick. Okay, what I mean?
You could probably need a torso in between though.
Aye. Maybe need because Martin Boyle maybe have big arms like I guess for hurling players off when he's running, eh?
Aye. Oh, that's true, aye.
But we didn't like drag behind him because of his height. Like a Neanderthal running really fast. He looked like a fucking Rangers fan. There was knuckle dragging cunt.
I was. I promised the night would be a Queen free chat.
Apologies.
And no, it's right.
Queen.
Queen. And it was just. I was with this again. There was the picture of the Rangers fan with the picture of the Queen cut out for the Metro, and he's got a gaffer taped or an electrical tape black band. Hell, there's anyway. We'll talk about the Queen. Promise it'd be like Queen free. So, how far could you throw dead to David Attenborough? Charlie Drew's question.
Depends, if you got a bit of momentum, I think he'd go quite far, eh?
He's not deep yet though.
He's a roller, eh?
Aye.
I think he'd roll quite a bit.
If you put him in the Antarctic or something, you could slide him really far.
That's brilliant.
Aye.
I know you're thinking.
Aye. You could curl him. You could get your mate to brush face and that.
Get the brush.
Aye.
You need to get the brush out and do the curling. Rabs says put him in a trebuchet. I think that's how you pronounce that.
Aye, he'll travel there like that.
How I know what a trebuchet is? Right, it's a big fucking catapult thing, isn't it? Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game on the Xbox. It came out Xbox 360 called Civilization Revolution, and it was free on Games with Gold about 8 years ago, something like that, 6 years ago. And I fucking play it all the time, and that's one of the wee weapons you can get. That's how I found out what trebuchet is.
Me and Leon make them for people.
Was that? I was just about to say that. I can't what it is because it's made out of wood.
Aye.
Anything made out of wood, I'll tell you about it.
A ramrod.
A ramrod.
One of my favourite things.
We've got Liam there as well. I think he's just dropped off. Actually, just accepted his request to speak, and as soon as I did, I lost him. Never mind. What's the best wooden weapon you could make?
A dildo.
100%. Well, there's nothing worse than a wooden dildo, like.
Nah.
So I've been told.
Depends what kind of wood it is. You don't know what to get splintered, eh?
No. Well, it has to be a hardwood, though, eh? Yeah.
Obviously.
Right. Like a bit bamboo, because it's very good to the planet, eh? Bamboo is very regenerative, eh?
What is it? They make bamboo toothbrushes and that now, eh?
Aye.
I take it they have normal bristles, and it's not just all wood. Because that surely wouldn't be a good way to brush your teeth.
Bottomless. Never how you don't know. Maybe it's a good way to brush your teeth.
Aye.
Maybe we've all been doing it. Maybe we've all been doing it wrong all these years, and that's why we're going to go to the dentist.
Well, what end of the toothbrush do you normally use?
Imagine if it's use the wrong end there.
Aye, thank you. Can't brush your teeth because it tickles your hands too much.
There's
a few folk I ken that play that's the case actually.
Aye, they're not even on the night.
Aye, because the breath fucking stinks. Oh my God.
Anyway, it's what else? All right, Dougie asks, would you rather die now or never die?
Never die.
That seems like an easy.
I find that quite fucking easy to answer that one actually.
I don't want to die now, so whatever's preferable to that. Aye.
I'm fucking eating a Frutella, and I don't know what if fucking be that guy. I don't know what to besmirch the name of Frutella.
I've had quite a good day. Like I could take it now.
There will be a day probably you think, aye, that'll do it. Probably 2016 the cup final. That probably would. If you popped your clogs at that point, obviously after seeing
the night before you're going to a fucking shit customer's house.
Aye.
See, if you've had your dinner and you lie in bed watching a bit of telly, like I came off that day, wake up in the morning, I'm going to fucking burn my arse.
I like the day after the cup final. That was good.
Oh, the day after the cup final was brilliant, wasn't it?
Aye.
It's like your last day of holiday. Kevin, you've got work the next day. You go, oh, fuck it. I'm the pod. If I didn't get up for work, I'm on whatever again. That is mildly preferable.
I need to go to Costco the morning, so
I didn't die the night. Costco's brilliant.
It's all right, like, but I need to be there for the opening. So fuck that.
Time is open.
9:30 apparently, or fuck knows.
I mean the way Costco is. And I ended up we needed loads of stuff, and then we had something coming up. We were having like a party, so we grabbed loads of shit, and we had to pick some stuff up for my mum. And the fucking woman pulled us aside. She's like, "Have you got a?" It was like a kind of like a basic car, but like a one up. And it's because they're spending that much money, and I'm like, "There's fucking folk go in there, obviously, with shops and that, spending like £500 a time in that, and have these cards, and they're like, I couldn't imagine fucking going into Costco and spending £500 every time. Like, it's fucking how many fucking packets of sandwiches can you fucking buy? You know what I mean?
Well, I've just insulated my house with toilet roll for there the other day.
Aye.
That was alright.
You panicking because the cream is dying, like?
No, it was cheaper than buying insulation, so...
Oh, you've insulated it. Sorry, I never heard that bit. Sorry. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, okay. Oh, I folk have still got their lockdown toilet roll, eh? Costco must have taken a fucking doing, like. The amount of folk that go there just for toilet roll and spend £300 on fucking nonsense, eh?
See, when I realised, like, if I had stockpiled toilet roll to the extent that someone had stockpiled toilet roll, there would have been a point where I would have thought, I'm never getting through this. And I would have purposely given myself fucking food poisoning or something just to feel like I've got my money's worth with it.
Fucking honestly. I seen somebody put something up on Twitter the other day, and it was a few weeks ago, but they're like, and it was a genuine fucking post, and it was like, I've literally just finished my last roll a toilet roll that I bought during lockdown in a panic, and now I maybe feel like I maybe overdone it. Okay, and I was like, that's fucking class, and I was like, please be true, please don't be a joke.
What about the folk who wanted to panic buy, but there was no toilet roll left, so then they started like panic buying alternatives, so they've got like loads of kitchen roll for wiping
Aye. Tell you what, wiping your ass with kitchen rolls is not the answer, like.
No, Jake will back and regret those decisions now.
But Leon, you've definitely done it as well. A Wonder Wipe comes.
Oh, it's a stingy wipe though. If there's any cuts down there or that,
it's clean though.
Yeah, it's clear. Oh, hey, listen, two wet, one dry. You can fucking eat your dinner off it. You know what I mean? It's the way forward, but no, they didn't flush very well under wipes. They're not good for the environment, eh? So putting them in a fucking bag and leaving them in a customer's house isn't a good idea either.
I can't. You can wrap it up in another one, and it's all right.
True.
What's the etiquette used to for going for a tam kite in a customer's house?
I do it.
Just do it.
So I used to like wait until they were out, but there was a couple of times I went out. They went out, and then they came back in when I was halfway through a shite, but they've came in looking for me, and they're shouting at me, and then you've got to say I'm in the toilet, and then they wait on you, and they ken you've been doing a shite, and it is the most awkward thing in the world. Whereas now, you just fucking go for it. You just go in and use your bathroom.
You just say you're not allowed to touch your door now, right? It might fall off.
Yeah. Aye.
Also, if you've got a newspaper, I can borrow.
Aye. Today when the plumbers are in, blame the fucking sewer, Jake, and blame the waste pipe. So all that waste must be wide open, eh? Aye.
I mind when I worked for HSBC, used to be a fire marshal. So when the fire alarms went off, you had to kind of go and make sure all the floors were clear. And part of that was going and checking the toilets. And there was a boy in my team, Alan, his name was. It was one of my best mates still, like now. He was mid-shite when the fire alarm went off. And I just checked the toilets, and I was like, that's a fire alarm, you need to be quick. And he goes, Fairney, I can't be quick, it's a fucking bastard. I can't go until you're finished.
I turned up to a Jobian site. My wee brother was working with us for a while, and I'm not exaggerating. He would do 3 shites a day, and during the working hours, he was always there. It was like he was in for fucking ages. He was probably wanking, but I always smelled like shit, so presumably shiting, right? So, but I went in a Jobian time, and we were only in dinner for 2 minutes, and Michael wasn't even with us. And the boys like, is Michael not coming in for a shite today? And he'd obviously done it that fucking often. And the boys like every morning he's like, is that kind of way to the toilet first thing? Because he would walk in the job and just dive right in the toilet, go for a shite, didn't even say hi to the customer or nothing. He just walk out of the boy's house, just like nonchalant, no giving a fuck.
That's superb.
Oh, I used to do my nothing. I used to do my fucking head in. I'd like shouting at him and everyone, kind of like, fucking get out. You've been here for 10 minutes. Hurry up. You're not here to shite all day. Oh. He's no longer working.
Nothing better than shiting on the clock, though, eh?
Oh, Ken.
There's definitely something about that. It's a more satisfying goal if it's done when you're getting paid for it.
I like sometimes going for a wee hide in that sometimes when the clearing up's getting done. Kevin, I'm upset. The boy who works alongside he's starting to we'll get it cleared up and that. There's another boy working with us and there's like 3 hours on the job. I'll just nip away at like 24 and then come back at 4:20 and just sit there on the toilet and not even shite but make sure, just in case anyone ever walked in by accident, it would look like I was actually doing it.
There was a thing in, probably saw it on Twitter because it's going to spend about 99% of the time, saying that there's something like 70% of men admit to hiding in the toilet for a bit of peace and quiet.
Fucking right.
Well, I agree with that. Like,
I reckon anybody doesn't do it.
No.
If you're ever in somebody else's house doing your business, I think the key to happiness is always use their posh soap because
yes.
It really fucks them off.
I used to have we were like when we were moving house, we stayed at our in-laws and that her in-laws for about, it felt like it was a month, right? But it felt like 6 months. And the mum, Lindsay's mum used to go down the stairs every morning and run the bath for her brother. So her brother used to have a bath every morning before he went to his work. And he worked for the NHS quite high up, by the way. He was a fucking office in that. He wasn't like 15-year-old, right? Right, and so I used to go in purposely and do a shite before he had his bath, right? And I swear to God, his mum used to have to come at the door. Lindsay's mum used to have to go to the door, bang the door, and she's like, "Leon, can you hurry up, please? I need to run the bath for Graham." It's like, this is fucking mental. But I was like, I'll be 2 minutes. Proper. Even when I didn't need the toilet, I would squeeze it out purposely. Like,
aye.
That was the best. It was the best 6 months of my life. That was only a month.
Right, Rab asked, who'd be in your all-time 4-piece rock band?
Oh, fucking excellent.
This is not my street.
I'll go with, right, just off the top of my head, Flea for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the bassist. Justin Hawkins for the Darkness as a singer. Fucking hell, who's on drums? Rennie for the Stone Roses, and fuck knows, I'll come back to the guitarist.
Oh, you, Leon, is that no your thing?
A wee bit. I mean, I like Gene Simmons would be in there, the Kiss, because my bairn is 5-year-old, and her favourite song is "I Was Made for Loving You" by Kiss. Because I played it once on the phone in the car, and she now kens, and she loves it. She listens to it all the time, and she kens the words, and I think it's cool as fuck. So I started getting into Kiss a bit, listening to them. So Gene Simmons would have to be in there. But I can't think. Anybody, to be honest with you. Who else would be in it? Probably could have the boy for Biffy Clyro, Simon Neil. So I quite like Biffy Clyro. Are they rock? Aye, they're rock, eh?
Aye, they're rock.
Aye. So I like it. Aye. And then I would have a 2-piece. That would do it. Just these two. That's the only 2 folk I can think of.
Basically, you've done like a rock version of the Proclaimers.
Aye.
Okay, I have in mind. I like James, so I'd maybe go Tim Booth singing. And then Noel Gallagher on guitar, or John Squire maybe on guitar.
Oh, fuck it.
I like Moby. I stick Moby on the drums just because he's like can do like dance music, but then also rock music. He's quite versatile. So although he's not known as a drummer, he can drum. So I'd stick him on the drums. And then bass. Probably go for Manny for the Stone Roses as well.
Even for different genres. I chuck Billy Joel in there too, just to mix it up. So I like a bit of Billy Joel too, to be fair.
Billy Joel, how old are you, Leon?
Okay. Well, mate, I'm very. I like my music. I do. I'm not an encyclopedia though. I don't care like the fucking members in that, but I've got a very eclectic fucking listening. I listen to a lot of different stuff, but that way I couldn't get out there. I'm very. I'll go from one extreme to that. Like I'll listen to Prodigy one song and then fucking Billy Joel and then fucking. So I'm honestly like, and my wife does her heating, does her absolute heating when we're in the car.
No surprise, man. That fucking song.
Oh, genuinely, right? Oh.
Leon Lee asks, what's the updates on the family group chat? A very specific question.
So, that was a wee bit angry there. So what happened is, I never actually physically got chucked out. I was forced to leave, right? So,
Family group.
so I was in the family group chat. Like, my mum's wife's a royalist. She's like full on obsessed, right? Frank, and I was just, and what I had a thought with everybody because I was like, they were talking about it and giving their opinion. I was giving my opinion and they weren't liking it, so I was getting told to leave and stop talking. And I'm like, because what kind of world do we live in that you kind of give somebody else, so everybody kind of give their own opinion, you know what I mean? And I wasn't even being abusive, I wasn't even like that. I was just making the camel that broke the camel, sorry. The straw that broke the camel's back. That's my animal for throwing a camel. The straw that broke the camel's back was I just made a comment about like I feel sorry for the folk that work 0 hour contracts that losing out at the football the weekend and all this shit. And then I got a phone call from my wife saying, "You get out of that fucking chat now. You're upsetting my mum. You're being a fucking dick. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Came what? Fucking I'm out." So I didn't care why I'm in the chat anyway because I'm not allowed to talk about football in the chat. I'm not allowed to talk about politics, and I'm not allowed to like give my opinion on a lot of things. I'm just in there to see pictures of the bairns and that, and post pictures of the bairns. So it's probably the best. It's probably the best thing. But I'm not back in it yet, and I think I'll be back in it. I think that's it. I think I'm done. Christmas dinner's gonna be awkward as fuck.
Good. I'm on out of all of my family group chats.
Just annoy cunts. Just annoy cunts.
Fucking do.
I was going to say, I'm talking to the wrong person actually. So.
What I discovered, right, see, from my family group chat, so I've got one with my mum and my dad and my 2 sisters, right? And occasionally I'll recommend TV programmes because they'll all be talking about programmes that my wee sisters watched. Tell my mum and dad to watch. They immediately fucking watch them and then talk about them. And it'll be ones that I've not normally watched, right? So I'll be late to the party. Whenever I recommend one, though, I could be maybe like a month, 2 months later, and I'll go and ask, did anybody watch that? And not a fucking soul watches it. It's like my recommendations count for a key on the group chat. That's I kind of exactly where my standing is in it. Well behind everybody else is there. I think we've got Colin on. Colin, you all right?
Hey mate, what are we doing? Previewing the match?
Well, we've done the match chat earlier on. We sort of just passed it. So we're on live sort of Shortbangers questions that folk are messaging in, but you're on the Shortbangers account. You could probably go to the bookmarks and pick out some actual questions that we were around asking you.
Aye.
If you can manage it. I just realised I'd logged in on Longbangers once, so I couldn't do it. If I'd screenshot them earlier on, I would have been able to just read the book.
I'm out with the dog, but I'm doing this on the move. So give me a second.
Excellent. This is where I chip up. See, if I'm trying to do something like that, if I was walking the dog and trying to do my phone, I'd walk into a lamppost or fall over my own feet.
You want to start with the old ones? Get rid of some of these old gens.
Aye. Let's tackle these.
True or false? Hibs Glasgow-based players came through to Edinburgh on a car christened the Wenger bus.
Aye, that's true.
That's right.
That's true, because that was the boys. It was
one of the goalkeepers. That was a Dunfermline.
McPake, maybe even.
Now, who's the goalkeeper that ended up at Dunfermline? He done a flash dance to propose to his wife in New York.
Murdoch.
It was him. I think it was him that booked it. I'm sure it was him that booked it. And then the rest all like fucking chipped in and that. And...
He's a referee now, eh? That's what he's doing.
Is he?
Is that right?
He's trying to work up the levels.
Owen Wright is like if you've seen Owen does like some really brilliant graphic design stuff. I've seen his stuff on in fact Owen did the Shortbangers logo and the Longbangers logo for us. Did both of them, the original one and the one that we use now. He does some great stuff, but I'm sure he did like a sort of mock up of the Wenger bus that then ended up in the evening news. If I remember, I think it was Ian's listening in, or I don't know if Ian is still. Yeah, Ian's listening. I think Ian submitted that question. I don't know if that's the one you're thinking of, Ian, because when that question came out, Tam McManus replied and also said that they've got a Wenger bus car sharing. So there's maybe been
has it happened more than once?
Maybe been a couple of iterations. Although in Tam McManus's days, I think the Wenger boys had been around yet, hadn't they?
Oh, it would have been maybe at the same time. Because mind, that was a Soccer M thing. Mind, they used to do it every week when they said about Arsene Wenger. They used to jump up for behind the couch.
Wenger bus. Was it them that went to Ibiza?
Oh, was it?
Was it the Venga Boys that went to
might be.
Ibiza? Was that them?
Aye. I thought that was a fucking joke there. I thought you were like, there was a punchline. I was on the punchline. Aye.
No.
No, that's the thing. Aye, we're going to Ibiza. Aye. Venga Boys.
Aye.
We're going to eat pizza.
Aye.
We're going to Ibiza.
Aye. Venga Boys are fucking excellent.
I was about to say a load of shit.
That's another band I like.
I'm going to have to mute myself. I've got to pick a dog shite up. I'll come back. I'll get a question before I pick it up, which is, if you could erase one past experience, what would it be?
Picking up a shite.
No.
I've got a belter for this one, right? So this is like fucking embarrassing as anything. Right? But the thing is, this question came up ages ago. We never got around to asking it, but as soon as I saw it, I knew what the answer would be, right? But normally, I do this up in my room, right? So I remember recording Shortbangers in my room. Sometimes the missus is sitting in the room as well, listening in, right? Which is why they're not as rude and sweary as they used to be. Good behaviour. But I was like, if that question comes up, there's two answers I could give, right? Well, one definite one, so I'll tell the embarrassing one now that I wouldn't have said. When I was fucking 19 maybe, right? We used to go to this club at the Wee Red Bar. I can't think of it in Roselle. It was like the art college. On a Saturday night, the club was called The Egg. It was fucking amazing, right? It was like indie music, but Northern Soul, mod stuff as well, right? So it was just fucking brilliant. And everybody that went there was way cooler than me. Like, they all wore, kind of were proper into it, they all wore clothes at the time and all that kind of stuff. And normally what would happen, I would be like working at McDonald's, work the clothes, jump in a taxi, because the work would pay a taxi if you worked past midnight. So jump a taxi, get the taxi to take me up the tune instead of going home. And then I'd go into the club, kind of bouncers and that, so you go in even if it was past closing time and that, or kind of last getting in. Anyway, there was a lassie there who I'd fancied like fucking mad for ages, and then never really got anywhere with her. And then there was a night we were kicking out, and we walked through the grass market, ended up getting off with her. And then the next night, we went to see a band at the venue. I can't remember who the fucking band was. Maybe Hurricane Number One. Anybody remember Hurricane Number One? It was Andy Bell for the ride. They then went into Oasis. That was his band. Anyway, I think it was the end that we saw, and we're coming out the back of the venue. She was there in a collector, and I went over to speak to her. I went to kiss her again, thinking that's going to be fine. And all our mates was there, and she was like, came in the back of me, and we're like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, fucking hell, what a cunt I've made of myself there." So that, I would erase that from my memory. If I could, I wish that never happened, because it was fucking embarrassing. My mates were there, her mates were there. So, aye. That was very cool. Alex and Leon, you get any ones that you would or Colin?
First one
I wouldn't have broadcast that one. Anyway, I would have kept that one myself.
What was the point? That's the whole point of the questions, wasn't it?
Aye.
I know, but you didn't be fully honest.
Ah, you do.
The first one that came to mind for me was the stupidest thing I've ever done by fucking miles. Me, my cousin, and my cousin's now husband decided when we were in Mallorca at Benicassim, was it Mallorca? Fuck no, Spain. Benicassim anyway. We're like, right, let's go and swim out and touch that. The boy on the, didn't swim any further than this point, basically. We thought, we'll just swim out and touch it, and then we'll swim back, it'll be a piece of piss. And we got this wee lilo thing, and grabbed onto each of us and just swam away out. But it was like a hell of a journey to go out, and somebody sent out a seaplane, like the fire brigade, to come out and fly over us to basically say get back. And then on the way back, it was the tide took us in. This is a shit story, by the way, but basically went back, and it was the best pint I've ever had. But I would never fucking ever do that again if anybody ever asked. So, aye, sorry, that was quite boring, but nearly died twice.
Colin, do you mind when we were in Magaluf, Colin, and the Scotland-England game? Did we watch that together with the big Pavarotti guy?
No, I wasn't. We got split up. Me and Cole went somewhere else because I can't remember how the fuck that happened. But we ended up. We were in. Cause I ended up in fucking the Prince Edward or whatever it was called, like a English party. We're sitting there going, "Fuck's sake, where are these cunts?" Because you were just in the Tarn Arms, but that was the way you were meant to be.
Aye. Well, just so you remind me, Alex, with your story, we were drinking this big fat Cockney guy and his missus. And he looked like Pavarotti, so obviously that's what we called him, Pavarotti. And then when the game finished, he was getting big licks and everything. We were away, like, come, we're going to the beach, which was just over the road for the pub, or steaming. And Big Pavarotti's decided he's gone wading like, into the water. And he's belting it in, right, for a big chap. He's done well. But his missus went fucking tonto at him. She's like, I can't remember his name. She's like, your heart, you're going to have a heart attack. she pretty much just waded into the sea and pulled him out. We're like, what's going on here? Big Pavarotti. Colin, what about you? Any embarrassing moments you want to forget that you're admit to? No, of course not.
Kenny. No. I'm bound to have stories like that one of yours, like, but I'm definitely not fucking reading them out.
What about you, Leon?
I've got work here, but it's fucking absolutely injured. I remember we went to a job. It was a guy fighting the kitchen that we supplied, and the wall units were hanging all loosey and a bit dodgy in the corner. So I was like, "Oh fuck it!" We were about to leave the job. It was like all done, complete. And I was thinking to the boys, "What?" I was like, "Go and get the fucking drills back." And I was like, "Well, sort this wall unit. So look at the fucking state of it." So I'm standing on top of the worktops, slating the guy, fucking about the workmanship he left in that. Put a fucking L bracket thing on the back of the corner of this wall unit. Then fucking put a big fuck off screw into the corner. It was a new tooth. So I was like, oh, there'll be a stud in the corner there. Put a fucking screw right through a mains water pipe. And I'm not joking. It fucking knocked. It smashed the plasterboard off the wall. Like blew off the wall, the pressure. I was fucking like huddling onto this wall unit because it would collapsed and that. We couldn't find the fucking tunnel valve. So the flare was fucking soaked. And then we ended up, we had to go back fucking for like 2-3 days worth of work, lifting flares and fucking putting flares back down and everything. And it all happened while I was slating the guy's workmanship. So that was some stupid cunt. I mean, water pipe up the corner of their fucking room, but that's not my problem. So, aye. So I wish I hadn't done that.
Got one for Brunswick Bill here that's quite topical. Are you going to issue a list of who's on the subs bench? If you're thinking of starting a development team, I might put my name forward. I think it came on after Alex guest starred a few weeks ago.
Oh,
this is probably a subs bench that's on the call, eh?
Aye, it could be. It was funny because we wound John up for it. He said about his place being at risk and all the rest of it. That's why he's not coming on unless he's listening in. No, we can't see him on the listener list. Ronnie can see we like him. No, we wound them up about it a wee bit, but listen, this is the thing with Longbangers is kind of when we started it. We sort of decided that we wanted to be like it felt like everybody was involved. So it wasn't just like fucking our podcast and we wouldn't let anybody into it, kind of no reply to things. We try to make it so that if you were a Longbangers listener, you felt like part of the show. And so that's why we do things like Shortbangers where folk can send stuff in, but we're always happy to have folk on. Like, if we're short and anybody really answered it, we're quite happy. I say we're quite happy. Like, we do have some standards. Like, aye.
I was on.
There's an element of quality control there.
That's why I was on it. I was on it on a weekly basis. Then off it, then on it, then off it, then on it. And it was my performances were dropping. I'd get kicked off, and then I'd get allowed back on there again. If I dropped a wee bit of decent crack in the group chat, they're like, I get him back on. He's actually like,
he's not a good joke.
He's on form this week. He's not fucking talking tight again.
He's showing it in training.
Aye. I'm not that fucking player that gets fucking picked on every now and again.
Here's 100. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, it's one of the reasons why we're looking at using Twitter Spaces instead of doing QuickBang, because QuickBang was good, I think, but it tended to be the same folk on all the time. But as Twitter Spaces, you can have loads of folk on. So
you can just dive on as well with your phone. It doesn't matter where you are, and you're doing it. It's not like a big hassle setting up. You can just dive on and off as you please, eh?
That's it. So it does make it a bit more for everybody, and it stops like folk thinking that we just get on folk that agree with us, because we never really tell anybody what opinion to have. We say we never tell anybody what opinion to have. So it's you're more likely to get a bit of diversity of opinion when you just open it up to folk. Colin, what's your next question?
150k on Hanlon Hill, obviously, has got one here.
What a shock.
I know, every week. If computers, iPads and phones and that hadn't been invented, What do you think we would spend half our lives staring at instead?
Tits. Porno mags, definitely, because that's what I'd done before there was phones and that when I was about 13.
I would disappear into the toilet and read all the ingredients on the shampoo and the bleach and that.
You've done that, eh? You've done that. I've went to the toilet for another phone or that. I've been like at work or something like that, and you'll like look for anything to keep yourself distracted, because you're like, you can't just sit down and sit with your own mind these days. You've got to have something in front of you.
And you only look at your own knob for so long as well. So.
The creation of the iPads and the iPhones and all that kind of stuff is sort of, I think, seen the death of the porn mag in the bushes, really.
I found
there
was
nothing more exciting, eh? There was nothing like, it could have been the worst mag in the world, but because it was found in a bush, you're like, this is the best thing ever.
I wonder if
this is a genuine story, right? Genuine, I swear to God, on my fucking children's lives. My auntie had a fight with her man, right, when we were younger, and chucked all his porno mags out into the street, right? And I'm not joking, we were all standing, there was about 4 of us on bikes, fucking like, what's going on, right, at my auntie's house. And there was all the boulders were all across the road watching, and one of the boys shouted to her, he's like, well, go and grab them then. And then that was it. We all dived there and grabbed them and fucking shot up the field, Diving them out who's was who.
We've got a mate.
I had a great upbringing. Like.
Me, Colin, got a mate, I'll not name him. We had paper rounds when we were at school. We used to do papers at Smiths and Milton Road. I don't even care if that's still there now. But on a Sunday morning, we would go down, start chumming around his paper round sometimes. And when he was loading up the papers, he would sometimes just try and get a porn mag off the top shelf into his bag before the boy noticed. That would be him sorted for the Sunday.
Do you remember one of your other mates? It's not the same one you're talking about. Same group of mates that he found a video. It would be a video, and he's in the attic. And it was like we were fucking playing it at lunchtime at school. Like came up to his house at lunchtime, fire it on the fucking telly.
Videotape. We borrowed. So my next door neighbour, I was staying in who's the next door neighbour was. He was older than us. Do you mind Drew, that lived next door to me, Colin? He was into like the taekwondo and that. Big fucker. Anyway, he had loads of videos, and he lent us one night. We were staying at mine. We must have been about 15, 16, and he lent us a video. It was called Genital Hospital.
Fucking hell.
And we were sat kind of watching every kid. We got your cushion over your lap and that, so that they could see what's going on. No, we were sat wanking, but kid covering the stoners. And the tape went missing from my house, right? And I was like, fuck's it gone? So I always had to give it back. And I couldn't find it. And I was like, I wonder if my mum and dad had found it. And they never ever fucking mentioned it. So I was like, well, I think it's that, because I would have got kind of in trouble if my mum and dad had found it. And then a couple of years later, I was talking to a lad who was in my wee sister's year, and she'd found it and took it into school, and she got caught with it, and the teachers confiscated it.
Hello.
So that's I was like, I must have fucking kind of never just lost it, and I was able to tell Drew what actually happened, because I was sure he just thought, he's just kept that to have a kid some permanent wanking material.
I used to go with my dad at the weekend, and I mean, until my dad came in the bedrooms, and my older brother had showed you in his videos and forgot to put it back. And my dad came in, and he's like, everyone right, boys? Aye. Everyone right? Aye. Right. Just, I'm not going to see what's going on, but the internet kens what's going on. You better come and speak to me in the next 20 minutes. And they never Nobody admitted to it. Nobody fucking ever my brother obviously admitted to it later, all the years ago. But the fact that I think my dad had been for days, and I think my dad he's like, well, I'm glad to go and admit that I've got pornos. And to the laddies, Ken, it was like one of them was a dilemma. If I go and ask for it, they can't have got it. They can't admit it. So it was a Mexican standoff in my dad's house. Another good story in my upbringing.
It just minded me. It's kind of one of the problem with the embarrassing thing, but it never got to the stage of actually getting called out for it, because I had one. I had a porno at some point, a video. I can't remember if it was a rugby club or where, right? And I came home, pissed after a rugby away day. Came home, fired, right, crashed out in my bed. And woke up this morning, telly and that's all switched off, eh? And nobody ever said anything. I thought my old man obviously came in and switched it off, eh, for my Mako. For my Mako, fucking nuts. He still never said a word to this day. We're talking 25 years on, eh? It was embarrassing for a day because I thought he's got to pull me in a minute, like he's got to pull me and say, hey, what's what you're fucking doing? Yeah, but
I'm sure I've told this story on the podcast before. Me and my old flatmate John, we'd gone down to the Homelands Festival, and it was like a big dance festival. Like, I can't remember who was playing. Moby was playing, and left field, Public Enemy. It was like Carl Cox and kind of DJs and everything like that, right? So it wasn't really sort of my scene, but John had got a big bag of Eckies. And he's like, come, we're just going to make a weekend. And we're like, fine. So we just went on it for the weekend, right? And it was, you go there Saturday morning, it was on till about 6 o'clock Sunday morning, and you got the bus back to Edinburgh. So get the bus back to Waterloo Place, and we're coming down Leith Street. So we stayed on Smith's Place just off the Leith Walk. So we're walking down, and there's a wee news agency, I don't know if that's still there now either. And John says, I'll just go down the shop. So what are you going in for? He's a porn mag. It's like Sunday morning, John. It's porn is in it. So anyway, he goes in.
The imagination, that boy.
He comes. The imagination. Gets a few of them. We go back down to the flat, right? He can obviously goes into his room, does what he's doing. A couple of nights later, me and my girlfriend at the time, so she lived with us today. We come in for work, right? We worked till 8 o'clock at HSBC. So we come in, and we're going past John's room. We go to the kitchen. He's left his room door wide open, and on his bed, he's got his magazines. The top one is just called Fetish. It's got big letters, Fetish. And we're like fucking pissing ourselves laughing, right? So John comes home that night, and we were sat had a few drinks on the Fiona goes to him. She said, John, you get any fetishes? He said, nah, it's fuck, John, you must have a fetish, mate. She went, nah, no, really, Ken, nothing that I can tell you about it. Fuck, John, you must have a fetish. And like, the penny never dropped him, or he wasn't wanting to admit it, and either way. That weekend, then we were out, and there was an all-day supermarket that's around the corner for the flat. So me and Fiona are coming back. It's maybe 3 in the morning. Seeing them, we're going to the all days, and because it was around the corner for the flat. We used to be in there all the time, so you kent the staff, and we tell them the story, and we say we'll pick them up some magazines while we're in, and we got the staff to help us pick them for them. So we're going like they're helping us pick these magazines off the top shelf. And of course, we go into the flat, and you think you're being quiet. It's like 3:30 in the morning, you're bouncing off the walls, and we're trying to shove them under his bedroom door. And he must have fucking got up in the morning. The porn fairy's been. He never ever fucking mentioned it. Never mentioned it. We must have spent easy a tenner on magazines for him. But, and he never acknowledged it, never mentioned it fucking once after that. Anyway.
I just thought he's bought them when he's drunk and forgot with them.
Aye.
Interesting,
though.
That wouldn't have surprised me. We spoke about David porn, and that's all we spoke about for the last
time. It's just under porn.
Aye. God bless the internet.
Aye. But do you remember when iPads came out? Like, all the experts were saying, these are not used to any kind. You can't phone anybody on them. Mind, it was like, it's just a big phone, but it was got the phone part of it. It's a waste of time, waste of money in it.
Aye.
Now everybody's got money.
I definitely said that thing.
It was in the...
You can't phone with it.
Aye. All the papers were saying it.
Even anything that's got internet access, you're trying it. I tried it with a Nintendo DS. It still works, so... I mean, you've got to try it.
I didn't even care if the internet even existed. There was no porn.
The internet existed before porn. It's just been taken off.
No, but the porn taken off for it. It drew it.
Same with VHS, wasn't it? It was like VHS won the format wars between that and Betamaxes because the porn industry got on VHS.
And that was it.
And that was it. That's what won it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that actual factual, or is that you just...
Factual.
Aye.
That's legit. That's legit. Aye.
Factual. That was what swung it. Because Betamax was the better format in terms of quality and that.
Aye.
If you're sort of that kind of thing.
VHS, these are quicker produced, so the porn were right.
You were one of the pioneers of the mini disc, weren't you?
I had a mini disc. By the way, mini discs were brilliant. I don't know why that didn't take off.
Well, they come with them.
iPods in it. iPods and that kind of came out, but you could record on them. It was like you could do a mixtape, CD quality, on your mini disc player, and you could delete it and start again. I didn't understand why folk would do it. The quality was better than fucking CDs. It was better than tapes.
Pretty much just about innovation. I mean, like, the next thing will be like you can do porn on a Twitter space or something. So,
Can you?
I'll be like one of the late 90s. I'll be like listening because you can't see the video.
All right, guys, how you doing?
How's
Not too bad. I just wanted to chime in with the mini disc thing. I fucking loved mini disc, and I really miss it.
Aye.
But it just came out too soon, like before MP3s. Like talking about the sort of format thing, like MP3 kind of killed fucking mini disc.
MP3 killed everything, really. Like any physical format in music pretty much died a death in MP3.
How long did iPods last? Like, did they just like take it as soon as like the phones came out, you could just do it on your phone? Did they just like?
Pretty much,
Is that really what killed it?
It was memory on your phone, because like the phones were out, they never had enough to do. It was maybe when Spotify and that came about.
What was the wee thing called again? What was the wee one called? Because you had like the shuffles and all that.
iPod Nano.
There was a Nano.
The Nano things. Because I mean that
it's basically just a button.
Like you would load music on it, and then you would fucking like you'd have to scroll through every song to get to a song. How hard was that?
And Apple created the iPod and then pretty much made their own product obsolete with iPhone. That was I think
Spotify done more.
SBC, I got a mini disc.
Do you not get Spotify more so than the phone, because like you can't really you don't save your songs on your phone. It's Spotify you play through your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Spotify did it as well. But you play Spotify on your phone, didn't you? You didn't have Spotify on your
No, that's
iPod, so same sort of thing. Mind you, had Napster and that. Like, if you wanted to download, you would go on to there was Napster and there was, I can't remember other sites, Pirate Bay and stuff like that. And you would go on these torrent sites and you would set up. It would take like fucking overnight to download an album.
My mate used to make CDs up and they were fucking amazing. Like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'd go on and try and do it myself, and I was like, this is fucking solid. Again, I just could not work it, so I would just go right back with the porn.
I used to love ripping CDs, like making compilations, because like ever since fucking tapes died, I was kind of like lost with making up like mixtapes and stuff. And then as soon as I found out how to rip CDs, I was like, I'm fucking doing this shit.
I
mean, I had like a 10-disc player thing in the back of my Peugeot 306, and you could you worked it. It was in the boot, and you worked it for the front, and you'd have to go the mixtapes and that, and CDs, and then you'd have to like work out what number was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, and then you had it sussed after that, so you can read what you go, what you want to listen to, and it was fucking excellent. Unless you went to like a speed bump, and then the fucking game was over.
I had a Pioneer Hi-Fi that did that. It was 20 discs, 25 discs. You could fit that. It was like a big fucking jukebox. It was brilliant. That I'd spent loads of money on the setup for the big speakers and fucking everything. And then when we had Josh, I come home one day and he just rammed Barramori figures into him. That and into the fucking speakers, and that was it. It was fucked. So
is that the one where you load the CDs in like vertically?
Aye, they went vertically. There's like a wee slot at the. Like you opened up the drawer, it was sort of like in two halves, and you opened it, the top half, and then the bottom half popped out, and then you would slot all the CDs in. It was really good. Like, at the time, it felt like it was brilliant. But obviously, like you say, you've got Spotify now, and you've got the whole, pretty much every album that's ever released just about at your fingertips.
Fucked up.
There must be people listening that wonder what the fuck we're talking about.
100%.
Aye. Anybody under the age of what? 30
I was just telling my daughter earlier on about how I went to see Oasis at Little Woman, where like fucking 5 support acts all day. I think it was 25 notes. Yeah, because she's talking about wanting to go and see The Weekend or something like that when the tour. So that'll be about £100. It'll be easy 80 anyway, because I've got Harry Styles ones the other week with about 85 notes. And it used to be £25, but that's because they used to sell fucking 10 million albums at £15 a pop. To make their money, and now they just need to get all your touring because Spotify pay them about 0.0001 for every stream.
Did you queue overnight for our Oasis tickets for
Well, did Did we not come out of Century and go and join the queue? At the back.
I think I was doing this. I think I was doing Stranraer at the time when they went on sale. So I came back up to meet you for it. But so you
went in the queue at 3 a.m, and it was already doing the back into Rose Street. And we gave up because we thought, fuck's sake, queue's not moving because Virgin wasn't open. And we just went home. And then in the morning, me and our mate Colin went back up and got them for Ripping Records. Walked straight in. Got like 4 each, whatever it is we got. And I walked straight to Ripping Records. Virgin had sold out. They'd put the barrier up saying that we're sold out. Fucking all night. Couldn't get in. Because it was they sold what the last they had. And then it was like on the radio or something saying Ripping Records have got a badge. We can walk straight in. It was amazing.
I mind going up, and we had this, I should have told this in the podcast before as well. Because one of my abiding memories of the weekend was we got our Sunday sport for the bus. Again, in the days before fucking iPads and that. And there was a story in it. There was a picture of a boy who had like a normal sized head, and then his body was skinny as anything, and it says he'd fallen into a pipe, like a drain pipe. And he got stuck in it. That was like afterwards. This picture of this wee skinny gadget with a big head.
Toothpick.
Eh?
A melon on a toothpick.
Aye, that's what it was like. I mean that, and then all the bottles getting chucked about at Loch Lomond as well. It's like fucking first time I'd seen that at a gig. Just like loads of bottles getting pinged about over everybody's heads.
Fucking double decker we were on, Like, that was what we went on. Double decker bus, the St Andrews Square bus station.
Aye, that was a good weekend,
Those were the days,
Aye, those were the days. You got another question?
How much longer are we doing that? Oh no, that's my question. Give me a second. Right. If this is Charlie Mulgrew thinks you made that up. If after transporting himself backwards through time, the first person the Terminator saw was a big wifey with broad shoulders, would he have nicked her dress?
Yes.
100%.
I'm not even sure what it means.
So I think did they choose to go and look for a biker with a leather jacket to look cool, or would they just wear fucking anything?
Because have you seen
They had to find somebody's size. It was always like he scanned the body size.
I think I've seen it.
I need your clothes and your motorbike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I thought he was trying for his hole.
Back on the porn again.
Check when they built Terminators and that, they gave them a wee bit of the horn, just in case. Just to make them feel human, or do you think they just vetoed that whole bit?
There'll be no bangers. There's only a banger of that. Aye. It's pointless.
No, it would all be in their head. It would all be like in their computer, like their computer chips and that, like what turns them on. But surely a robot's got to get super excited about something.
Push his USB into the socket.
Aye.
Some cash machine.
Aye.
Cash machine or a vending machine or something like that. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at this circuit.
That cash machine just whistled at me.
Aye, just split your
another question, right. Carl?
Aye, last one then, right? Well, I'm saying last one. This is normally your job, but I've not got the timer on. Right. What? Right, this is E&T. What is the trigger or decision point for hat wearing? And does it differ from style? Flat cap, fedora, etc.
For hat, I could. Well, Alex, you're probably the best person to answer a hat-related question.
Well, I actually missed the question. What was it? What was the?
What is the trigger or decision point for wearing a hat, and does it differ from style?
I would say if you can pull it off, like, and you look amazing in it, just go for it.
Any type, any hat.
I mean, all you need to do is look at my Twitter picture. Like, if you look good in it, too right.
Yeah.
If you say so
then you stick it on your Twitter profile.
And even if you didn't look good in that, just do it.
And if you look like a wee gimp in it, then it takes something special to pull a certain hat off, eh? So,
definitely.
What kind of hats do you wear, apart from sombreros, obviously? What kind of hats would you
I didn't need another hat. That supplies everything I could possibly need.
What other type of hat would you need to wear if you didn't have to wear a sombrero, eh? And it does it all.
A hard hat, basically, if I'm on site.
Right. Have you not got a hard hat sombrero?
Nah.
That'd been brilliant because you could carry tools in it and that.
Okay, aye. Okay.
You look like you'd wear a baseball cap, I reckon.
I've worn a baseball cap. I'm going to have to start wearing a baseball cap because I'm getting very thin on top. So it's getting. I'm going to start getting burnt in that. But if my hair gets a bit scruffy and a bit, I just cannot be fucked brushing it. I just chuck a hat on like.
I'm a wearer of baseball caps myself. Like,
I'm not a hairbrusher. Eh? I'm not.
And I dread the day that I possibly go bald because I've got a proper fucking egghead. Like, so I can't shave my barnet at all. Like, because it looks ridiculous. So, baseball caps for me.
You shave it off and then about 2 weeks later you'll be like, actually, they mind this. That's when you first do it, eh?
Maybe. But that's not the day.
I didn't sort of shave. I've shaved my head a few times given like lockdown and that. I was like, fuck it, when the hairdressers weren't open, I shaved my head and looked ridiculous. And I can't wear a hat either. I just didn't suit them. It's a shame because I quite like hats. You see some people with some quite cool hats. So I think, I'd like to be able to wear
you probably see me because I've got bonnets in the winter and I've got a baseball cap or a bucket hat in the summer because I just I've got all the style on that.
I wish I'd been like you.
If we come back to the question, I think if you meet somebody for the first time ever and they've got a hat on their head, that's how you remember them. And then take their hat off, and then they're going to look fucking ridiculous regardless. After that point, anything they put on their head.
There's a boy that listens to Longbangers. There was a work with me, a boy called Elliot. He'll maybe listen to this. And he came and worked with us and had a cap on. And had a cap on for 5 days or 4 days at least before he turned off. And see when he turned off,
then he
could have walked past me and I wouldn't have noticed him. It was him. It was fucking wild.
Then you didn't ken who he is.
I wouldn't. If I see him in Tesco's with a hat on, I wouldn't even say to him.
Aye. I think it's funny.
It was fucking awesome. It's the weirdest thing ever.
When they take their cap off at the end of a golf round and they're just like got a big white patch on their forehead. They must try and cut that up, when they're not playing golf.
Oh, aye, definitely. There's a comedian. Is it Sam Simmons? Is that his name? That wears the baseball cap. He's for like Australia or New Zealand or somewhere like that. New Zealand maybe. And he wears the baseball cap, and when he takes it off, he's got like a proper. Came with the bald head, but the hair around the sides. He looks like somebody to Guess Who.
I can know what you mean. Does
he sometimes on like 8 out of 10 cats does countdown?
Aye. Dixon in the corner. Aye, he does it on there. And he takes his hat off as part of his acting that. But whenever he does it, even though I ken what he looks like, every time he does it, you go, fucking hell, look at that. Anyway, right, Colin, that is us pretty much out of time tonight. My phone battery's a bit to go. Never really prepared for that. Alex, Leo, and Rab, thanks very much for jumping on. Colin, thanks also for you jumping on. Hope that was entertaining. Bit of deviation for fucking wall-to-wall coverage, you know what. So, hopefully that's going to be better for everybody's Friday night. If you want to come and see us do this kind of thing and live, give us a shout on Twitter because we've got a live show 21st of October at Easter Road. It's going to be more of the same of this, I think. Some of you have already bought tickets, and it'd be great to see you there. And like I said at the start, Shortbangers is out now as well. If you want to go and listen to it, it's on YouTube. So there, and you can subscribe for me. Follow the link on our Twitter. Right, that's us. Have a great weekend, folks. No football to doing it. So I wish you all the best. Catch you later on.
Cheers, guys.
Good boys.
County line I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.